the eye. I'm going to start with the eye on the left side. Let's start with the bottom. We're just going to do an upward curve. From here, I'm just going to connect these 2 points with a really high arch. So going up to the top of the eye, and then back down on the right side. From here, I'm just going to draw the pupil. So it's going to start up here. It's going to sort of curve and come down. So it's got a little bit of the white showing here. And up here is the darker area. So up here, I'm going to draw an oval for the highlight. A really small oval. And then now I'm going to draw the glare that goes on top of the eye. So from here, I'm going to do a curve. So I'm going to do this first, the curve. Then under here, I'm going to draw a half oval. So the bottom half of an oval. I can go ahead and color this in black. And then I'm going to color this area in black as well. It's just an easier way to draw this shape. Okay, now that we have the eye in place, I'm going to draw the top edge of the head first before we get into the other eye. It just makes it a little bit easier. So from right about here, I'm going to draw sort of the top, sort of egg shape on top of the head. So from here, I'm going to curve up over the eye, and right about here, I'm going to curve down. From this point, I want to draw that eye at the same height on the bottom and same height on the top. So let's start with the bottom side first. So this curve, because he's sort of looking that way, I'm going to start on the inside and just curve to the outside of that head. From here, I'm going to curve out. This eye sort of gets tucked in behind the head. So right about here, at the same height, I'm going to sort of turn it and just tuck that in behind the head. Now from here, I'm going to do the same thing like I did here. And draw the pupil, like so. I'm going to draw the highlight, sort of tucked in behind the inner part of the eye, here. And then again, I'm going to draw a curve to start off the glare. Then here, I'm going to draw the bottom of that oval, and then color that in black. Okay, now that I got that, let's draw some eyebrows. So the eyebrows are basically just little curves that come down on the inner parts of the eye. From here, this is the center of his face, so I'm going to have to draw the middle of his upper mouth, right about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point, curve around the cheek, and go to sort of where my finger is. There. Now I'm going to draw the other side. Now this is kind of curved upwards, going up, and down, and then out to the side. Okay, so it's like a little bit of a wave. Let's draw the nostrils before we do the rest of the mouth. So here I'm going to draw a little line on both sides. We are going to connect this point and tuck that in underneath the top mouth. Curving down to the bottom of the mouth, and then back up. Let's draw some teeth. So he's got a few fangs. So we just draw like a V on this side, and then upside down V on that side. Do one here and one on this side, like so. Then let's draw the tongue. So starting up here, it's going to curve down to the bottom. Let's draw the bottom of the chin. So I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to try to get this to curve around the bottom of that mouth. So going across and up to the chin. I'm just going to leave a little bit of a gap here. Okay, let's get into the back arm. So here I'm just going to curve. The body kind of does this little egg shape. So I'm going to start to curve out from here. Then here I'm going to do an overlap to the fingers. Okay, so I'm going to come across and do a curve that goes up. I'm going to round out the finger, come in, and then I'm going to do a rounded tip for the second finger, and then a rounded tip for the third finger. And then from here, I'm just going to tuck this in with a curve underneath the arm. Here, I'm just going to draw a rounded curve like that for the thumb. Now that we have that in place, let's do the tummy. So this here is going to come out to right about here. And I'm just going to do a sort of like a elongated oval. So starting here, I'm going to curve out. And from here, I'm going to curve back underneath that chin, doing a little bit of an overlap. From here, I can get into the legs. So from this point, I'm just going to curve out like so. And this will go down with a curve, so an inward curve towards the heel. And from here, I'm just going to bulge out like a curve like that to the bottom of the foot. Now here, the back of the body is going to come around this way, but then the knee is right around here. So I'm just going to pretend, okay, so here's the foot here. I'm going to do a curve from this side of the knee and the leg. Then here, I'm just going to imagine this line coming around to the back. Okay, so now we got the back, we got the knee. Let's draw the rest of the foot. So here I'm just going to do another bulge on the side. And this is where the toenails come in. So in the center, find my center point. I'm going to draw an upside down raindrop. Here, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to tilt it. So sort of aiming towards the center. Then one over on this side as well. Like that. And I'll just go in and finish off the bottom of the foot in behind those nails. Just draw this side. So now I know where the top of the thigh would be, so the hips right here. I'm going to curve out and come down to the same height where the feet would be. So for the back of this leg, I'm just going to curve down to the back of the heel, same height as this one on the left. And from here, I'm just going to curve around, curve to the front of the foot. Now here, I got some nails, so I'm going to draw a curve. Try to keep it the same size as I have on the left side here. Curve this down, and from this point, I'm just going to curve down to meet that point. And then all I have to do is do a series of overlaps. Third one here, and just curl that in, and the top of the foot just tucks in underneath that knee. Let's draw this arm here. So from here, I'm just going to have the arm sort of up, waving. I'll curve up to the fingertip, I'll round out to the second finger, and then the third finger just kind of pulls down like so. And then for the bottom of the arm, I'll just tuck that in underneath that belly. And then one little thumb, just like that. Let's draw the tail, the final piece. And have the tail coming up to a point right about here. So I'll start from the top of the tail, curve around that hand, and just out to a tip. Then from here, I'm just going to curve out. I want to probably come down to about here so it's tapered. So it gets thicker as I get towards the body. And then now I just want to draw a little bit of detail like I did with the tummy. Starting right about here, I'm just going to taper that line of detail like so. And to draw that bit of flame on the tail, I'll start down here. Just going to draw a curve that goes up. I'll round out, curve out to another tip. I'll round out the top here. So this point is lower than this top. And then finally curving around to another point. And then I'll just wrap this around behind that tail like so. Let's draw a little flame bit here, so just a curve like that, and curve it back to the top. We'll do one more up here, and finish that off. And I think that's essentially it. There we have it. There's